everyone. I am so excited about today. Okay, so this is so much fun. Every Monday we do these Monday Masterclass, whatever, which is where we bring in a guest from anywhere in our company. And today we get to have Paige. And we really just let them speak into you what is going on, maybe on their teams, maybe what they've seen in their business, maybe what helped them grow, what they saw early on, what they see now, build belief in you based on just their story, but also maybe give you a little bit of a kick in the booty in your business, because sometimes we just need someone else to come in and be like, yes, that's the exact same thing that my sponsor or this leader has been saying, but you said it in a way that just connects for me and allows me to now put things into action. So I can't even probably remember the first time I met Paige, but a distinct early memory is when we were sitting at the airport. We were at Love Field here in Dallas. We were about to fly out to go somewhere, and maybe Vegas, and they were in the adoption process. Like I think had just gotten approved. And I think Becky and Rachel, and we were all just crying. Like we're all just sitting in the airport, like we're going somewhere, probably somewhere fancy. And we're just like, thank you, Jesus, for where the Greenways are right now. And then we've gotten to just become better friends and go on more trips and do more things. And I think what we have in this company is really unique in the fact that I don't think Paige and I connect team-wise, maybe until Celeste. I think that's maybe. So Celeste has Rosalind, who's my direct sponsor, and me. And then she also has a girl named Suzanne Clinton, who's her level 1. And Suzanne, and so Paige, I think you're what, Suzanne's like 3 or 4. Okay, 3. So it's Suzanne, and then Sally, and then you. Okay. And so we're kind of like 2 different legs for Celeste. The fun thing about what we do in this company is we encourage each other. We love each other. I mean, I think Paige and I probably connected more in the last 2 years just on trips and sitting next to each other and over ministry and what her husband's involved in Waco with their ministry and houses and boys and just all the things. So I want y'all to get to know other leaders. I want y'all to get to know the company, the kind of people that are in this company so that you know who you're going after. Like, I think when you know who this company is made up of, you go, oh, I know who I can, who should be doing this with me. Oh, I see the vision for my friend. So Paige and her husband and their boys live in Waco, which is about an hour and a half south of here. If you have heard of this show Fixer Upper, I mean, it's like been, around for a little while. That's in their town. And also the school, Baylor University, is kind of right around there, but they are ministering to an amazing group of people. Like, I just love getting to watch their church grow, the health of the church, and all the things that they're doing. And in the middle of ministry outside of their house is also ministry inside their house with the boys, and everything that they get to do. So I'm excited for y'all to get to meet Paige and know a little about her. And I hope that she just brings a little bit of the fire, because we all just like to have that. So Paige, that's your intro. Take it away. Talk as long as you want or as short as you want. Say whatever you want. The floor is yours.
Oh my goodness. I told Andrea she is the most generous, description giver. So kind. And y'all, I have fangirled this team for years. Truly, you guys have such a stinking solid team, such insane leadership, and the culture is just, it always sucks me in. And I like to pretend that I'm a part of this team, which, like Andrea said, I think that is something we have that's so incredibly unique to Plexus. I know a lot of other companies, and they're awesome. I'm not saying anything negative about them, but y'all, I have so many other friends. It's just not like It's not like that with any other company that I'm aware of. So yes, I remember that sweet moment in the airport, Andrea. And again, like that is why I fangirl this team, because that's the kind of leadership you have. These women who I knew were praying for me and my family when we were going through that adoption process. We had some bumps in the road, as anyone who has gone through that process knows. It can bring lots of heartache. And so it is just God's kindness, like that he provided Plexus, not just for the finances that allowed us to adopt, because y'all, that is truly like Plexus is the vehicle that God used to allow us to be able to privately adopt financially, but also just the community, like the incredible community of prayer warriors and just women and men who have fought through life with us together. And I know some of you, probably most of you, you can attest to that as well, because I know everybody is on a different journey, right? We have got, and I know some of your stories, and I know some of you that I have been praying for, sweet Sarah, especially. So many of you that I have been able to link arms with, either whether you know it or not. And I know that some of you have prayed for me, whether I've even known it or not. So anyway, I just could not be more grateful. So like Andrea said, we live in Waco. I like to point out and make it very clear that we lived in Waco long before it was cool. Okay. We've been here almost 15 years now, which blows my mind. We drug our heels the whole way here because it was so not cool. And then just fell in love. This is absolutely where God has rooted us, and Lord willing, it will be where we stay rooted, please, Jesus. But I have 3 crazy boys. My oldest is 10, my middle is 7, and my youngest just turned 3, and he is our adopted little boy. And like I said, that was all God using Plexus. I was a high school English teacher for years. My husband is in ministry. That's why we moved to Waco for our church 15 years ago. And y'all, adoption or me not working full time would not have been in the cards whatsoever for us. Okay. And I had no idea what Plexus was, but right after I had my second son, who, like I said, is now 7, it started popping up. Okay. People were, or it was probably kind of right around. It was towards, I remember my friend first reaching out to me about it right before I had Reeves. And I was like, what? I don't need some like weight loss thing. I'm about to pop. I'll think about that later. Like, why are you talking to me about this? And then I remember right after having him, it popped up again with another friend, a friend that is like super crunchy that I really, really trusted. And she was like, have you ever tried this? You should try it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then y'all, I had the baby and I was like, ooh, yeah, I could probably use a little help if this is this drink pink and shrink or whatever crazy thing we used to say. And so I was like, okay, I'll just try it. And then she literally gave me a bag, and then I drank that bag, and then I bought another bag from her. Well, then I saw Sally Crosby, who I was just acquainted with because I used to work for her husband. Actually, I was his ministry assistant when they lived here in Waco, and he was the youth and college pastor at a church, not even our church, but a different church in town. And so I had kind of gotten to know Sally and Sally. So she would send me Christmas cards every year, but we were not close by any stretch. But she posted very non-compliantly, but we know more about that now, but she posted about milk supply, and I'm pretty sure it was Tara Castaneda's milk supply. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. I had not been able to nurse my first baby very long at all. And so I was like, milk supply, yes, I need that. And it's this stuff that my other friend had been telling me about that I had tried. So, okay, I'm going to try it. And y'all, I got hooked. I started the triplex combo and I got hooked. And I have a whole testimony that I could go into of how the products absolutely changed my life, put some hormonal issues in total remission because we had struggled to get pregnant. I did not, I want to be careful on this call, all these things that happen. Okay. But suddenly my body kicked into gear in a way that it never had, in ways that my prescriptions that I'd been on for years were not able to accomplish. All kinds of changes started happening. And Sally I was telling other people about what was going on with me, and I was sending her customers. Okay. And she was like, Paige, you have a website, because she had upgraded me to wholesale. I'm pretty sure when she was like going Ruby or senior Ruby or something. And I never got my welcome pack. Okay. This was a different time. So I'm still a little bitter over that. Never had a welcome pack to this day. Did still go diamond. So the Lord is good. But I had this website. I was like, no, I'm not going to be that girl. I'm not going to be that girl. And she's like, you don't have to be that girl. Just when you're sending me people, let's sign them up under you. And y'all, long story short, God just blew it up, like really, truly. And my husband, Drew, was like, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it because we got some money coming in. And so I, at that point, had begged my principal to allow my teaching partner and I to job share. And so we were both working half of one position, which is like unheard of. It was so dreamy, but the money was tight. So, and they allowed us to do that, but they said, if one of you goes, then the other person has to go back to full-time English teaching. Okay. And this is high school English. It is like around the clock. So even though I was working half time at school, if any teachers on here, okay, you're bringing home work every single day. Like it's just nonstop. And so I was still working around the clock, but I was able to pick my babies up from Parents' Day Out, stuff like that for the first time. And so in May, my teaching partner had to step away. She got another job, and it was like contracts had already gone out. And so my district wanted me to come back. We just did not feel at peace about that. We prayed and prayed and prayed. And Drew was like, listen, what if you actually tried this thing? What if you tried this Plexus thing? Like, you seem to be doing pretty well without like really trying. What if you went for it? And so I was like, okay, let's try. Let's give it a shot. And that is when like I got serious about my business, and things took off. And from that point, I want to say it was about 17-ish months to Emerald. Well, it was probably about a year to Emerald from when I got really serious about things. And that was life changing, and still is. It still is. So I want to dive in a little bit more to what I mean when I say I got serious about my business. And I want to share some things that I've learned along the way. Guys, like Andrea was saying, sometimes it's good to hear it from someone else. Nothing I'm going to share with you is going to be like absolutely mind-blowing and never been said before to you. Okay. But even as I was preparing for this, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a good little kick in my own booty. So I hope it is that for you too. Okay. So I want to call something out a little bit, and I hope I don't step on any toes, but I'm okay. I think I'm okay with it. And so there's been a lot of scrutiny lately, and I get it. I totally get it. But a lot of scrutiny and a lot of judgment on the hey girl messages, right? Okay. There's a lot of like, oh, don't be one of those hey girls where you're sliding into somebody's DMs or you're sending them a cold message and you're reaching out about your business. Like, and I get it. I get that, because there's a very, very wrong way to reach out and share, right? Okay, but I am scared that some of that scrutiny has left us a little bit paralyzed. And I got to be honest. I mean, that is true for me, that sometimes in my fear of not being one of those like, hey girls, I have found myself a little bit paralyzed. Okay. And sometimes I think we feel like we have to choose between adding value and sharing what we found. Okay. But y'all, we don't. We do not have to choose between the two, adding value, but also passionately sharing what we have found. Okay. And I want us to think about this, especially when we are first building our businesses. Y'all, that is very, very active work. Okay. And passive work is not going to get the job done. Active work is what it is going to take to build your business. Passive work is not going to get the job done. What do I mean by passive work? I mean a post and then just waiting for people to come to you. That is passive work. Okay. That is passive business building. And it is often going to stunt your growth. Now, it may be, listen, I'm adding value, I'm putting it out there, and I want people to come to me. Y'all, I got to tell you, I have had very few people in the last 7 years just reach out to me. It is happening more now than ever because I have been actively laying the foundation for 7 years. Now, more people come to me without me having to reach out to them, but I built my business, absolutely built my business to Emerald and beyond by reaching out to other people. And I saw my Emerald, soon to be Sapphire, my senior Ruby on here, soon to be Emerald, but my Emerald, soon to be Sapphire is Emerald, is here, is part of Plexus, because I reached out to her very specifically and followed up and followed up and followed up and followed up. I was very active about how I built my business. Okay. You've got to invite people in to join you. I'm keeping myself, if I'm looking over here in a weird way, it's because I'm keeping myself focused with notes because I need that. Okay. But you've got to invite people in to join you, and you have got to engage with them. And that invitation has got to be personal. It has got to be more than just throwing up a post and hoping that your person that you know needs this or would be fantastic at this, would be blessed by this, would be a blessing to our community. You've got to make sure that you are engaging with those people personally, because that person is probably not going to see that passive post of yours. Okay. You've got to invite people in. So I want us to remember, it is not a choice between a servant mindset or a success mindset. Those two things are not at odds with each other. And I think that, and what I can kind of see is some of the chat can see little bits of the chat, that it's gotten kind of confusing lately because there is so much emphasis. And again, rightfully so, there's such emphasis right now on a servant mindset and making sure we are adding value and serving and loving people, that it's almost, I think, put this stigma on success. And guys, are we building businesses or not? That's the question that I want you to ask yourself. Is this a side hustle for you? Or is this an income producing business? Or do you desire for it to be an income producing business? And if you do desire for it to be an income producing business that can bless your family and bless others, then you need to achieve success, right? But that does not come at the cost of serving others. But I want to remove some of that stigma from a success mindset. Okay. And I want you to think about it this way. Okay. I think some of you may be like me, and you've kind of received some of the messaging that achieving goals, striving for goals and achieving goals is selfish. Okay. And I just want everybody to look me in the eyeballs when I say achieving goals, striving for goals is not selfish. Y'all, if you do not work towards a goal, fight for a goal, strive for a goal and meet those goals every now and then, how is your team going to do that? Why would anyone else join you? Okay. It's paving the way, not only for your family, but for somebody else's family. It is paving the way for somebody else to be able to walk through that same door. Okay. I distinctly remember before I went Emerald, the month before I went Emerald in 2017, I went September 2017. I remember feeling like God was impressing on my heart so strongly that nobody else was going to be able to do that until I did it. Nobody else was going to go Emerald before I went Emerald on my team. And if I did not work toward that, I was going to be holding them back in addition to holding my own self back. Okay. I needed to be able to give permission to the people on my team to reach their own goals. Does everyone on your team want to go Emerald? No. But the more you are engaging with others and you are treating this like a business and you are bringing others in to what you are doing, and the more vision you're able to cast, the more people you are going to have that desire to go Emerald and beyond, right? Okay, but they are not going to do that unless you show them the way, you pave the way for them. It also gives your audience, when we shout out, hey, so-and-so earned an Apple Watch last month, or so-and-so just got her new pair of branded Nikes. Like, it is not to be splashy and like, look how awesome I am. Or we don't throw up a million pictures from Hawaii because we want to rub everybody else's noses in the fact that they're not there. No, y'all, one of the things that got me to realize this was a real thing was when I saw Sally going to DC Leaders Retreat. I was like, what the heck? Sally Crosby? Like, she's awesome, but she's not different than me. If she can do that, maybe I can do that. And I saw that income disclosure graphic or whatever, and saw she was making like $5,000 a month. And I will never forget standing in my kitchen with Drew and going, guess, I just want you to guess how much money Sally Crosby is making from Plexus. And he couldn't, he had no concept, because I had no concept, because that $5,000 a month was like insanely life-changing money for us. Insanely life-changing money for us, like ridiculous. Would have been like beyond thrilled and content to think that that's what I could have made per month at that point in my life, y'all. And so knowing these things, because these things were shared with me in boldness and in vision casting, it paved the way for me to go, oh, I could do that too. And y'all, I can't, it makes me cry to think about what if Sally had not shared those things with me? I would not be sitting in the beautiful home that we were able to build. I would not be on a street that is chock full of children, my children's ages, and they're in and out of my house constantly, driving me crazy, but I get to live that dream. I am at home on a Monday and not standing in front of, hundreds of 15 and 16-year-olds throughout my day. Like, I am sitting at home, and I was able to adopt my son, all these things that the Lord has provided through Plexus, because I had a friend who was willing to share boldly with me what she knew could be life-changing for my family. Okay. But the only way she did that was by opening her mouth and by being serious about this opportunity. Okay. She was treating it like a business and growing it through service. Yes. Through adding value, but by opening her mouth to me, by sharing with me very specifically. Okay. It wasn't just passive. Yes, we share those things on social media passively because we're going to be able to lay the foundation, but actively sharing by reaching out, by having the personalized conversations, the thoughtful conversations. That is what sealed the deal for me. Okay. Now, listen, you are not going to actively do things like that unless your belief is solid. Okay. And it has to be built like a muscle. Belief does not just come like that. It has to be built like a muscle. Okay. So duplicating, actively building your business is built by, I would say, probably belief in 3 different areas. Okay. Belief in the products, belief in yourself, and belief in this opportunity. Okay. You are not going to share like that if you do not believe, and you are not going to be able to grow beyond a certain point if you are not sharing and duplicating yourself. And I'll just be honest with you about my journey for a minute. Okay. It was not all just a rocket ship. Okay. I went Ruby without really any business builders. Okay. I had some dabblers, but I really did not have any true business builders. I went senior Ruby when Tracy Fogel, who's on this call, joined me. And she was like the first person to really catch the vision and say, let's do this, let's go for it. Okay. And then I went Emerald really quickly after that, mostly with tons of wholesalers. Okay. Tons and tons and tons. Now I know our comp plan is set up a little differently now, but if you've been around for a little bit, you know what I'm talking about. Tons of wholesalers. I was walking the stage at convention for the most new ambassadors, the most new preferred customers, PV, whatever. And I'm not saying that to brag. Here's what I'm saying. I was walking the stage when I was a struggling Emerald, like not always maintaining Emerald, or sitting in my chair at the end of every single month trying to scrape by to 1,500 points again. Okay. And y'all, that is not fun. That is not fun. And what changed that was the way we started our duplication. Okay. That was not the focus. For a long time, I could build on my own because I was very actively pursuing other people, but that is where I stopped. I had awesome retention, awesome recruiting, but I was afraid to really duplicate and share with them the opportunity. Okay. And I'm going to talk to you about that here in a second, but I do not want anyone to sit there and think this is all on my shoulders. It is not. It is not on your shoulders, and it cannot be on your shoulders in order for it to grow past a certain point. Even if you are the most kick butt rock star recruiter of customers, that will only get you so far. I promise you. Okay. So that opening your mouth and sharing has to be automatic every single time you bring someone in as a customer. Okay. And honestly, a lot of times we have not, because we have asked not, right? We do not have business builders. For me, anyway, I often do not have a new business builder because I have not asked someone to build a business with me. I want that to sink in for a second. I think many of you probably have not because you have asked not. Anybody feel that? Okay, so I'm going to give you a extremely simple message. Don't feel like you have to write every single word of this down. I can send it to Andrea and she can share it wherever is most helpful to you if you find this to be helpful. Okay. Now, this is not a super scary, this is not the message that I'm sharing with my dream teamers that I want to do the business with me, but this is how I help people get a little taste of what could be possible for them every single time. I say something like this. Okay. Hey, Jill. I know that this isn't at all why you're starting, but I would feel awful if I didn't share this blessing with you. Okay. Can you think of 3 people who might want the same deal that you got? Okay. Because you have a referral link now, and I can give you the steps for them to also get 10% off. And then when they do, you're going to earn around 300, whatever the thing is for the month, but 300-ish is a pretty safe ballpark for a fast start silver. You're going to earn around $300 this month when 3 friends or family members use it. Does anyone come to mind? Okay. And right now, you better believe I'm also telling them they're going to earn around $300 something and get a brand new pair of Nikes. Okay. That's awesome. So whatever it is, you're going to throw that in there, but you're going to ask them for the names of 3 people. And y'all, I know you have heard this message 7,000 times, but are you using it? Are you doing it? Every single time you bring in a new VIP, are you showing them what is sitting on the table for them? Cash and shoes. What more could a girl want, right? Okay. And compare this in your brain to a code for a free trial. Like I get a Home Chef or whatever code, y'all, I am sending that sucker out to everybody I know because I want more free meals. Okay. And if somebody does not share their free meals with me, that is rude. So if somebody is already joining you because they want what you have, they are already affirming they want what you have. They just ordered from you. So get over yourself. Do not allow that fear to keep you from helping them possibly turn this into something that changes the rest of their lives. I know that sounds dramatic, y'all, but how many of you started for the products and did not expect to build a business? How many of us accidentally became entrepreneurs, right? Y'all, I started for the products. I did not start for the business, but somebody shared with me and it changed, like really, really, really changed the trajectory of my life, the legacy that I am able to pass on to my children. It changed everything forever. Like it is that dramatic. And so what if Sally had not painted that picture for me? Okay. So I don't want us to think that it is salesy or like you're bugging somebody. If you have that kind of belief, if you get that fire in your belly, even a fraction of what I am feeling as I am relaying this to you right now about how life-changing this is, then yeah, that is what is going to fuel your duplication. You cannot shut up about it, because why would you not want that for your other friends? It is loving. It is loving. It is kind. It is a blessing to them. It is rude not to. Like really, that is how I feel about it. And so withholding, when I get to that place, to that mindset of, yes, I am adding value. I am serving my friend by sharing with her what is possible, then that is going to snap me out of this stigma of, oh, I don't want to be that girl. No. Like it is loving. It comes from a place of, I want this for her. I can see things in her that maybe she can't even see herself. I could not have seen myself flitting off to Hawaii, being on some kind of leadership retreat, or, earning fancy prizes, because that was not my life. That had never been me. I had never been someone who was just winning all the things and awesome at all the things. Okay. I didn't know that was possible until it was presented to me. And it is so very possible in Plexus. And we get rewarded greatly for small things. Okay, 3 people, that's a huge reward for bringing 3 friends in. And we do not need to be jaded to that. We do not need to forget how life-changing that could be and how that can light a fire in somebody that explodes in a way they can't even begin to imagine right now. Okay, so continue to share passively, but share actively. Y'all, reset is a flipping gold mine. This is just an aside. If you are not continuing to share reset over and over and over and over again, because y'all, your audience, again, when you throw up a story, when you put a post out there, the majority of your audience is not seeing it. So you want to continue to share those things over and over again. And people need multiple exposures, right? We know this, okay? So share about it truthfully, share your own story. It is not sunshine and rainbows. I have done it 3 times now. I hate it, but I love my results, okay? So it is so stinking worth it. And I've learned tips and tricks along the way. So you want to do it with me. You don't want to do it by yourself. You want to do it with me. But share why it is so worth it. Share stories that move beyond just the weight loss. Share stories that show the compounding effects. They cover a diverse range. Save stories constantly, but share, share, share. Keep going. And if you haven't reached out to the people already in your virtual office that have not tried Reset yet, you need to do that as well. Okay. But I know I don't want to get off on a tangent, but that's something I want to say, because that's something I want my team to remember too, is don't grow weary of sharing Reset. Keep going, but keep sharing your own story. Yes, share passively, posting in your stories, showing your face, talking to the camera, all of those things, but do not buy into the lie that having personalized conversations with people one-on-one, reaching out to them, making sure that they fully understand what it is that you have found that you're passionate about. Do not buy into any kind of lies that that is selfish or that that is not something you should be doing. You need to just be passively sharing and hoping people come to you. That is not going to be what is life-changing for you and your family. And it is certainly not what is going to be life-changing for the people watching you. Okay. You want to start those conversations and to be bold. And those who are willing to be resilient and unshakable, those are the ones who are going to succeed. So anyway, I'm done.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to hear in the chat, what's like something you starred? Like, what is something in your, I don't know about y'all, but I think I'm on page 3, maybe page 4 of notes. So what is something that you like put a star next to? Like, this is me, like, you know, like you circled and like drew like a little cloud around, like, cannot forget this. This is kind of your go-to. I want to hear in the chat what it was. Okay, Paige, I have a couple of questions. We're going to open it up for questions, but how long between you deciding to be a brand ambassador, which Sally may have decided for you, and because back then we didn't get points for customers like you do now. So every single person in your back office now, if they have PV, you get points for them. There's so many different, like, well, we didn't get to, and we didn't get to, so many different things we could say. But back then we didn't get points for welcome packs, or which is probably why you didn't get one.
Exactly.
Or for customers. So with the time you signed up or you upgraded to brand ambassador, and she started helping you put all of your customers and your contacts directly under you, how long from that point until you actually caught the vision? Like, this is mine and I'm actually going for it.
I would say, so I upgraded to brand ambassador September 2015. Still just wanted the discount. Started kind of talking to people around December, January. And then I would say it was April of 2016 when I had like built up so much PV and realized if I flipped these customers, then I could have some really great points. I went silver just off of like my mom, a neighbor, and I can't even remember who the third person was, really didn't understand what that meant. But I did that in December 2015. But in April, Sally was about to go emerald and she was laying the foundation for that. And we had really started talking through things and about what could be possible at that point. This was before I knew I was going to quit my job. And so she was like, okay, I think, if we upgrade these customers and this and all that, that you could end the month with around 50 points. And I was like, 50 points? No. I am going to go gold and you're going to have at least 100 points for me. And I think I ended at 125 that following month. And that was May 2016. And then I snuck into convention, and that is a whole nother story. That was life-changing, and I'll have to share that another time. But that was a very long answer to say a few months.
No, I think what's great about that answer is, did y'all see the layers to that? That Sally wasn't like, hey, you could do this. Because how many times have you sent a graphic that's like, hey, if you recruit 17 people this month, they can make their mortgage and their car payment and put their kid through private school and maybe get braces too. Like, you're like hot selling it. And they're like, yeah, I'm not really interested. And you're like, okay, well, that person's off my list. They don't want it. Who else wants it? What Sally did was like, drip, drip, drip. Hey, Paige, how about this? Hey, do you see this option? And it was month after month. If you think about it, from August to, you said August is when I think you upgraded, to April, for Paige to go gold, for her to catch the vision of gold, was August to April. So who did you sign up in the last 2 months that you're like, I am willing to drip on her and not let up because I see it in her. I'm willing to go till April for her to go gold. If by going gold in April means she catches the vision to be Paige a year, you know what I mean? Like, do you see the long game? What Sally did with Paige was the long game. And because they played the long game together, then Tracy got the vision. And if you get to know Tracy Fogel, just know you get to know an absolute doll. And I just think that's a team of people that are like, I am willing to spend time on you to serve you while I'm actively sharing with other new people too. So it wasn't like Sally was like, I'm only focused on Paige and nobody else. Like, Sally had other team members that she was doing the exact same thing with. And Paige had other people. You heard her. She has massive amounts of recruiting and customers. So she had a ton of people that she could drip on. It wasn't like, well, this person said no, what do I do? Because I saw that question earlier. Okay, well, she said no. Great. You should have 20 people that you're dripping on. And her no right now might be a yes in April. Because in April, her and her husband might be discussing adoption and she might be going, how do I get out of it? Or her coworker might be saying, hey, I think I'm going to leave this. Either you're going to be full-time or we're both going to be out of a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you talking to right now that in April, their life is so changed, but you have cast the vision for them month after month after month because you have such belief in them, in yourself, in your products, in your industry, and in our specific company that you're like, I am not letting this go. I am not letting that. I don't care, because Julia Carty unfollowed me on social media and was like, please never speak of Plexus again. And I was like, here's another free bottle of body cream. Here's another free bottle of BioCleanse in her diaper bag. Like, I probably, the girl owes me some money. Let's just say the same way that Sally owes you a welcome pack, Julia Carty owes me some money in body cream and Probio 5. And it was worth it because I knew her kids needed it. And then I knew that if she caught the vision, it would explode. And when you know those things about someone else, about your products, about your opportunity, then you're like, I can't shut up. Like, I will go to a play date and you'll tell me not to talk about it, but I'm wearing the t-shirt so that at some point it might actually come up, or I'm still drinking the drink because at some point you'll say, okay, fine, what's in there? Like, I'm willing to drip on you. And I just think, Paige, I think your story is so, refreshing, delightful. And we can all, do you see yourself in like a piece of that story? Like, in some part of that story, whether it was, I just wanted to be a customer, or God had bigger things for this family. Yes. And they could have seen the day she signed up to be a brand ambassador. Like, Paige, at what point did you and Drew knew you were going to adopt before Plexus, or during your, okay, so you knew adoption was on the horizon. You just had no idea how with a teacher's salary and a minister's salary you were going to pay for it. Yes. Could you imagine God planting that seed? Like, it makes me teary. God planting that seed in their lives and then going, you're not going to believe this, but I have it all planned out. If you will just, and I bet even when Sally was telling her, she wasn't like, oh, this is option. This is how we're going to do it. She was like, Sally's crazy, but okay, I'll just keep adding, it'll pay a bill. It'll, put the boys through Mother's Day out. It'll cover this, little vacation our little family wants to take. my nose is getting all red because they started talking about adoptional dating. I mean, could y'all be any cuter? Plus they're like adorably cute just in person, but then their hearts for the Lord are just, oh, so attractive. So you see God saying like, I'm going to plant this desire in your heart. And then I'm going to, but could you imagine if Sally, because it may have been somebody else, right? This is God's story. So God could have chosen somebody else. Sally gets to be a part of the blessing. Sally gets to be a part of Zane's life. Sally gets to be a part of the story. And if you think about it, like, don't you want to be a part of someone else's story? Don't you want to be a part of being the person that's like, I'm not giving up, because for some reason, I just feel really called to continue to share this with you. And you have no idea what's going on in their family and going, okay, years from now, we're all going to be sitting in an airport and crying over the story that is coming to fruition. It's just, do y'all see the vision of that? Do y'all see the gift of that? Do y'all see how you can be a part of that? Because, and I love how Paige puts it, because you've decided to be an active member of other people's lives. You've decided to serve actively instead of like being successful passively. Like, I'm going to be successful, but I'm going to do it like if someone comes to me. Like, I don't mind, going Ruby, because who all in here wants to go senior gold and Ruby right now? Because I would guess that's the majority of this call wants to go senior gold or Ruby. But you're doing it going, I'm going to post this beautiful graphic out there. I'm going to share a reset every single day in my stories. I just know someone's going to hit that poll and it's just going to catapult me to diamond. It's just going to be the thing that changes our income. I challenge every single one of y'all, we have a few minutes, put 5 names down right now on a sheet of paper that you want to change the income trajectory of that family. You want to be a part of the legacy building of that family. You see something in a woman, in your Bible study, in your neighborhood, in your mom's group, whatever. Yeah, Paige says she's doing it too. We have to do this too, y'all, right? Like, this is our business too. We're not telling you and then sitting back and turning off the screen and eating bonbons. Like, this is what we do to build consistently. And I want to challenge you to put 5 names down, and then you pray over these women. And then you specifically go after them and you say, okay, Lord, you're calling me to these 5 women, and be willing to say, they may say no. They may say not right now. They may not be interested at all, but are you willing to drip consistently on them for the next 6 months to a year? Are you willing to actively show up in their lives, to serve them well, but to also run after success? And success might be these 5 women, or it might be you getting out of the habit of being passive and you getting in the habit of being active. And that changes the lives of 5 other women you're not even putting on your sheet of paper right now. Because how many of y'all have somebody on your team that would not have been on your first list of 5? I mean, yeah, I love that. That's like, is that not the greatest thing? Like, start with 5 and then you go, okay, now I feel really confident. I have 5 others I'd like to reach out to. And I promise you, if you are being intentional, God will give you 5 different women all the time. I mean, if you ask for names of people that you're supposed to reach out to, he will give them to you. That does not mean every single one of them wants it. They may just be practice. They may just be dripping. They may just be conversations that spark a different idea or spark something else. Okay. Yeah. Don't put people that you just think will be, that you just want to be good at it. How many of y'all want to put the person that's the most popular mom in the neighborhood, because then she'll go get all the other moms and you don't have to? Because we kind of all want to do that, right? If I just get Beth will get everybody else. And so then I don't have to worry about it. But what if you put everybody else on your list? And what if it's Claire, who would have never been on your list of 5? What if Claire's the one that's like, no, I need this. Like, our family, I've been praying for something like this, but you wouldn't have put her on your list because you're only going after Beth. That's where it changes, when you're actively pursuing other people. Okay. I am so excited. Ask Paige. Okay. I'm going to do this out loud. Okay, Paige, what number was Tracy Fogel in all of your recruiting?
And we both just said, I think we know it was in the 80s. I want to say it was like 82 or 84. I think I have a video about it. And again, that's because I could not help but share. And y'all, I saw Tracy sharing, she was trying to sell calendars, these beautiful calendars that she would make. She was a graphic designer. And I saw that she's trying to share calendars, like sell them. And I was like, okay, maybe sister needs some income. And so that is when I reached out to her initially. But that sister did need some income. She said, that's right. It was, I had no idea exactly what Andrea is saying. I had no idea what she needed. I had no idea. And as far as, like continuing to pursue those. And yes, I saw that question too. What do you say if somebody says no? You keep dripping, just like Andrea was saying. 2 examples that I want to give you of that were, I have a senior gold and a senior ruby who y'all had been in my back office for years. And when the pandemic hit, they both were like, okay, it's go time. Now, one of them had told me it's go time. We joke, it popped up. I saw it again the other day. I have welcomed her to our team page like 4 different times now. Okay. But it took from probably 2016 till 2020 until she finally went for it. And she went senior ruby in 2020. And same with my senior gold. I had dripped and shared and continue to say, okay, I know that you don't think this is what you want to do. I know that, but here's what I see in you. And here's why I think you should. And one day, just because it was their time, God opened their eyes to what was possible. And again, like Andrea is saying, when, she's crying, thinking about like us, little 21-year-old Drew and Paige dreaming about adoption someday. That was a ridiculous dream on paper, because how in the world were we going to do it through the agency we wanted to? Like, I think about that for my sweet senior Ruby Jordan. Like, she lost her baby girl full term, like in labor, and she had no idea that was coming. What if she had to pick up and go back to her teaching job? What if she had to go back to work every day while she was in the throes of deep grief and pain that I can't even begin to describe or understand? No, God had provided a way for her to be able to be home and to walk through the toughest journey anyone could ever almost probably walk through. And so we just don't know. We don't know what the Lord is going to do and how he's making a way for someone to do things that seem impossible. So I'm not going to continue to beat that horse, but that is gold right there. That is so very true.
2 more questions. 1, do you follow an IPA outline every day? Like, is there something that you kind of follow every day to make sure that you kind of get everything done?
I mean, it is just truly the simplest that we have all seen from the very beginning, that I probably learned from you, Andrea, watching all your YouTube videos. Like, seriously, I couldn't get enough, especially when I first started. But that, like, okay, let's reach out to 5 new people a day. Let's reach out, let's make sure I'm following up with 3, make sure that I am training at least 1 person a day, like pouring into them. Now, y'all, I'm going to not sit here and say that as a diamond 7 years in, I am reaching out to 5 new people a day. Most of what I do now is so much more follow-up, but that is because, like I said, I did the active work for 7 years. Here's something else that I do is I add, and I was doing this every single day for at least a year, starting probably 2 years ago. And now I do it at least 3 times a week, is that I was adding new friends on Facebook constantly. And those are people. Facebook is still very bread and butter for me. That's probably because I'm old, but like, I still get a lot of action from Facebook. And I am consistently adding new friends, and that has been so much of my business over the last few years. And I'm, building relationships with those people. But I am adding them, and I'm not like immediately going after them or anything like that, but I'm continuing to grow my network on social media as well as, out in the real world. And so that is, I would say, part of my, I consider that to be part of IPA, because it has absolutely been income building for me.
Here's what I hear from Paige, and we got like 5 minutes left, but here's what I hear is that she's not saying, oh, but should I be on Instagram or Facebook? Like, she knows that her bread and butter is on Facebook. Although if you see Paige's Instagram, especially her stories, everything that's happening in her life. She shares. I mean, I know all of what the boys have gotten into for the day. I really just follow for what crazy thing has Zane. Yes. What is he?
It's his own account, I think.
Except just like Ella, if they had their own account, no one would ever follow us anymore. Yes. Everyone would be like, bye, see you later, peace out.
That's right.
And so, it's not like she's picking one or the other. She just knows her audience are both. And that's where that passive part does come in. It's sharing her life. It's sharing Reset. It's doing all the things out loud. But then y'all hear she's still having those conversations. If you were putting green lights or red lights up on messaging someone directly, if you're putting red lights up on having in-person events, if you're putting red lights up on Facebook, Instagram, Reels, stories, where should I be? Everything that Paige has talked about today is getting into action. It is being an active participant in your business. It is truly getting into conversations with people. It is boldly asking your back office and your list of people that haven't joined you yet if they're ready for the next step. And then literally, you're just going, okay, you're not ready. Great. I'm going to move on to the next person. But you know what? I'm not going to cross you off of a list. Please, for the love, do not do that. Just say, I'm not going to bless and release or any of those things. You're just moving to the next person. And then you're going to go back around and you're going to reconnect with that person again. I truly don't like it when we're like, well, I'm just going to bless and release, or, just they're not interested. So I'm not going to contact them anymore. Y'all, active member of your business. Y'all said you want businesses. I'm sure if Paige and I told the same girls that on the day that they signed up to be brand ambassadors, what they would be making in 2022, we would have thought somebody was smoking the best drugs in the world, because there was no way the people that signed up to be brand ambassadors on our sign up days should be making what they're making right now. And we are only doing that because we boldly shared, we boldly believed, and we did not stop. I bet Paige, when she finally caught the vision, was like, I am all in. I am going to wrestle boys and get on the phone and talk to every friend at every play group and doing all the things all the time. I just want to challenge you to do the same. Figure out in your calendar this week what it looks like to show up face to face with people, what it looks like to get on the phone, what it looks like to boldly ask. And then we want to hear, message Paige if you're on Paige's team, or me if you're on our team, and just say, okay, I boldly asked my 5 people. As soon as you've boldly asked your 5 people to join you, to catch the vision of the business and the opportunity that we have here, message one of us and just say, okay, I boldly asked my 5, because those are the people I know are going to be leaders over the next year if you're boldly asking day after day. Okay, Paige, thank you so much. I loved it. I really should have just driven on to Waco. We should have done this together at your house. I mean, that's really what I should have done. But we'll meet at the silos. If anybody wants to meet at the silos for strawberry cupcakes from Magnolia Bakery, that's really what we should do, is a play date with all of us down there, because it's the best dessert.
And don't you show up and then let me see it in your pictures and you haven't told me that you're here. I will know. I will find you.
That's the worst about Waco now, is people actually want to know when you're there. For the longest time, you just stopped at Zoli's and went to the bathroom and kept driving. And now everybody wants to know if you're actually in Waco. So if you go to Waco, let Paige know. Y'all have a great Monday, and we'll see y'all later.